Ich will einfach nur Danke sagen. Ihr bedeutet mir so viel. Ich liebe euch und wir sehen uns bestimmt wieder.
Guten Abend and a warm welcome from Leipzig and welcome to RB Alley Global Tracks, which is Leipzig's very first RB Leipzig podcast in English. It is brought to you by Richard and Mario, and amongst us we're season ticket holders, passionate supporters, and not very neutral local pundits. Both of us have been following Leipzig football since our childhood days, so if you want to hear about RB Leipzig, capture the mood of the fans in the city, and if you want to go beyond numbers and statistics, you are in the right place. We are delighted to welcome you on board, and all we need to say now is Auf geht's, Leipziger Jungs. Well, Richard, I'm still reeling from last night's match, and not so much the match versus TSG Hoffenheim, but a little bit more the farewell send-off ceremony for RB Leipzig's legend, number 10, Emil Forsberg. How are you today, Richard? I know you didn't sit in the same place with me, but you were in the same stadium.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, I was there this time in the stands. I put my whole family into my bag and I was like, hey, come, let's go. Emil will play for the very last time in our stadium, in our living room, so to speak, in German. We have to appreciate him and say thank you, Tschüssen Tag, Emil. And so we all were there. And it was really, really emotional for us. And yeah, but I'm a little bit sad today, not only because of that, because weekend is gone, and Monday is on the doorstep. But now we're gonna recording our very favorite podcast. So let's go.
Well, that's great. But I must say, I've never seen so many teary eyes in the amongst the supporters after match that we won. It was really extremely emotional. I think nobody expected that. Everybody expected maybe an announcement before the game, which didn't take place. And in hindsight, that was a good thing because there wouldn't have been time for that to properly say goodbye to Emil and for Emil to stand in front of the crowd and the supporters with tears streaming down his face. He looked like a boy who cried. It was extremely emotional, and the way they've done this after the game was perfect. The farewell with all the team members, the giant graphics picture in the center of the pitch that was just amazing. The stadium was filled; almost everybody was still there, and we can graciously forget about those 2, 3, 4, 12 TSG Hoffenheim supporters. They probably boycotted that marketing construct RB Leipzig. Not a lot of them were there. Everybody was just following the ceremony, which was great. The whole team, as I said, the team, the staff, they were on the pitch. A long move, quite a moving speech by Emil Forsberg. And he was there were chants, Emil Forsberg chants, newly created, I might add, by the RBL supporters. It was done in a really nice, respectful, non-Hollywood style way. And I must say to all the responsible people who've done that, chapeau, very well done. It was really, really excellent. But it was always very hard for us to take, to be honest. It even after the match, we didn't talk about the match anymore. It was talking about a legend leaving the club after 8 years. And Sina, who's contributed to this podcast before, she actually said something which was really interesting. In her eyes, the club is sort of normalizing, becoming a little bit more traditional, because this is the first time a player left RB Leipzig's been with us for a really long time, 8 years now, which is kind of normal for the normal traditional clubs. There will always be somebody who's gone through all the different times of those clubs' history for a long time, and then at some point they need to leave. And maybe Emil leaves at the right time, in the sense of that he was at the height of his. Oh, he put in a very good performance in this last game at home at Leipzig. And his speech actually, he hoped that everybody remembers him as an open, very friendly person, a guy who will cherish the years here at Leipzig, keep them in his heart, and would love to come back at some time. All in all, too much to take, to be honest. It's gone beyond football, beyond statistics and numbers. If you want that, well, you definitely had that yesterday. And with to everybody we talked to, it was really really moving. So it seems like we're getting to the point where we're getting an older club. Players will leave us, such as Emil Forsberg. How did you see it, Richard? Have you recovered?
Yes, I do. As I said, you nailed it. It was an extremely emotional moment for me either. And things only will get worse with Yusuf one day. But don't want to think about that
Oh,
right now.
don't mention that now. You planted the seed in our head now. It's not going to be nice. No, I think we all need to take a week off after that.
Yeah, at least. But okay, Yusuf will be with us for at least 3 more years, I guess. So my takeaway is basically that Emil is still capable of being a game changer. And yeah. And on the one hand, this leads to a little bit a shame that Abel is leaving now. Yeah, because his skills is obviously is okay to help the team. And on the other hand, both the fans and certainly the player himself wants to leave at the right moment. And I think there can't be a better one than that. So because you don't want to give someone his farewell and think, okay, it was nice with you earlier days, and now it's good that you're gone. No. You want
we can stay friends.
we can stay friends if you would like. No, you want to leave on your very ceiling, and he had a very great December, Emil, and now I'm glad that we don't have to find out if this is a comeback where he will maybe find back to his old form that he showed us last 2 seasons or the season before. And so, yeah, I think it's this very, very great moment. And then Hollywood style scripted game yesterday. He came in, scored, had an assist, and almost the second goal. So, yeah, it's sad that Emil is leaving, but as I said it's the best possible way you can imagine.
That is true, and that is kind of leading us into let's keep it a brief review of yesterday's match. First of all, the 3-1 win, really secures 3 vital points in the race to the UCL spots and keeps Dortmund away, and open up a gap to them of 6 points, which, well, okay. It's still too early in the season to call that race, to be honest. It's they are capable of really closing that gap in the second half of the year, but it feels really good to have opened up that lead. And depending on how Stuttgart is performing against Bayern München today, they might even stick around in the third spot. But in terms of the match, you're right. Some of your predictions really came true in terms of RB Leipzig was really affected when they broke through on the wings to the goal line and passed the ball into the 18-yard box, but low. Every time they tried to pass those ball very high, it was Mr. Brooks, who just took care of that in a very casual way. It looked so easy. And you had Baumann as a really good goalie as well, goalkeeper for Hoffenheim as well. But every time they kind of kept it low and came in with speed, Leipzig was dangerous and asking questions. But it still needed that emotional leader, and I couldn't believe it either, because it was like a Hollywood script. It was like in a Hollywood movie. You know, the quarterback comes on the field, takes over the offense, and boom, jakala, 2 decisive touchdowns, so to speak, and they win the game. And that was just amazing to see, and that kind of bears the question of well, if Emil is not there in January, is that going to open up a gap that we need to fill? What do you think, Richard?
There will be a gap that this has to be filled, of course, but if you go down to the facts, okay, so Emil came in and scored and had an assist, but on the other hand, I'm really, really sure, because we were the better team, that there would have been someone else who would have scored to bring this one over the line. But there's another thing I would like to mention. You know, there was this certain chant when Emil stand on the sideline when it was ready to come on the pitch, and and the chant was like "Jetzt geht's los, jetzt geht's los." Yeah,
That's
it was
like the
like,
equivalent to "Here we go, here we go, here we go," isn't it?
yeah, so like that. And I'm sure I haven't heard that for years.
Neither have
Like,
I. Yeah.
oh, that was pretty cool.
And actually, 4.5 minutes later, he scored. It was beautiful. And in that scene, you could see that Luis Openda, goaltender, was less of a goal getter in that match. He was very much a team player. And he had this perfect assist to Forsberg, close to the 6-yard box, who just had 1-2 touch and tuck it in, which was brilliant. And even the second goal after the corner kick, there was a lot of commotion before that. It was so funny. Forsberg directed that shot just underneath the goal bar, but Baumgart is such a great goalie. He pushed it out, but then Mo Simakan was there. Mo in the 6-yard box, just kicking that in, not very elegantly, but hey, just kicked it in. And that just shows you that a lot of people or a lot of other players took the role of trying to score goals, while maybe Luis Openda took a different role yesterday. And I thought that was a really positive sign. That is a good sign for a team effort. And can I say this? Maybe cohesion. I mean, the spirit is right, definitely. And that was so beautiful to see. And the more I talk about it now, and the more I think about it, the clearer I can see it. But I have to say, it's all overpowered by this goodbye Amy ceremony and Red Bull New York on social media trying to wake up to what kind of great player they're getting. They don't even know what's going to hit them in the positive way. And my plea out to you, Red Bull guys in New York, is take very good care of him, and he will pay it back tenfold, definitely. So, yeah, just going back to what you mentioned in the last episode, some of your predictions and keys to win this game were right, and they actually did that. But every time they tried to play the ball high, it was kind of getting to a match which was very uncontrolled, not very effective, and Leipzig wasn't good at that. But at the end of the day, we came away with a 3-1 win. Was that your predicted score as well?
No, I predicted 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. Now, Sina, she was kind of hopeful that 3-1 would be enough. After they scored the 3-1, and after the match, she was just happy that they won.
Sina, your score prediction was correct, 3-1. Do you feel happy now?
Yes, I'm very, very happy.
Do you feel smug because you're so smart?
Yes, I just think I had the right feeling.
What about the ref? How did you like his performance?
The referee was not very good.
And how about Emil Forsberg scoring the second goal, decisive goal in his probably last game over here, and they're gonna announce it shortly. How does that make you feel?
Our Fußballgott. That's everything I have to say to him. Very, very good.
We're happy. Bye.
Excellent performance, and I hope. Well, in January, do you think who do you think can actually take Amy's role, or have there been players who have taken his role before?
Yeah, either way, Cavallo have to show some improvements here, or we need another addition. So, but I have no idea who could that be. So, no rumors that I spotted, and no one I have on my script. So, okay, just let us be surprised by what the gaffer or the staff are pulling out of the hat.
But hey, there's one more match, and potentially Emil Forsberg could still be part of that, and we might see new wonders as well. You never know, because RB Leipzig is traveling up to the north to Bremen, very quaint, nice little city. Well, sorry, I'm not saying nice, but they have this in Germany. We'll say that it's It's a village with a tram, a streetcar. And Werder Bremen, who are they? Außer, was ist grün und stinkt nach Fisch?
Introducing our next opponent, their ignorant check.
Okay, yeah, Werder Bremen, it's the plain Jane, or one of the 5 plain Janes in the Bundesliga. So it's like
Okay.
a solid Bundesliga team. Not bad, but not good enough to go for the international rankings in the league. Just like Wolfsburg, Augsburg, Gladbach, and Bochum, so to speak.
Mhm. But you mentioned Wolfsburg, and that really strikes fear into my heart.
Okay, if you split those 5 teams within their tier in the rankings, Wolfsburg is to me on top of this, and then Bochum is 5th place in this ranking, and then Bremen's someone like in the middle. So I think
Okay.
Gladbach, Augsburg, yeah. Okay, so we won our last 6 games. We faced Bremen and had a 16-3 goal differential in those games, and this makes me quite
Okay.
optimistic.
Yeah.
And Bremen only got 4 wins this season, all at home. So 4-0 versus Mainz, 2-1 versus Cologne, 2-1 versus Union Berlin, and 2-0 versus Augsburg. And those 4 opponents got none of them got a winning record, and in total they only got 10 wins. So we got 10 wins. Just to put that into excuse me, help me please. Just to put this
Perspective.
into perspective, relationship. Thank you. Into relation. Yeah. Bremen always acts with 3 defenders, so there's not much surprises that we will face on Tuesday night. 3 defenders, 2 wing box-to-box players, so to speak. Weiser is the one on the right side. That is really a player we should keep an eye on the left side with alternating personnel. Oliver Deman, a new transfer from Belgium, was in the lineup on the left side in the left wing to wing, box to box wing player in recent matches. And yeah, as I said, it's a mediocre Bundesliga team with a solid floor and yeah, slightly above average ceiling. So, but I would like to mention some players we should keep an eye on. It's the first one is number 10, Leonardo Bittencourt. Yeah, speaking of club legends, just like Emil, he will be one for Bremen. So he's not there since 2015, but joined them in 2019. Stayed there through their relegation and played for 1 season in the second Bundesliga. A real solid, and when I say solid, I mean this in the best possible sense, okay? Box-to-box player. He's got no real strengths, but also no weaknesses. Yeah, by the way, when I think about Leonardo Bittencourt, I always remember his father, Franklin, who played for VfB Leipzig for 105 matches in the Bundesliga and second Bundesliga from early to the late 90s. And I watched him too. And this is also the reason because Leonardo Bittencourt was born in Leipzig because his father was in charge with the VfB at that time.
I see.
Did you see him? Have you seen him play?
I might have heard the name, but I don't realize now.
Yeah, he later transferred to
at that time I wasn't here, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So he later transferred to Energie Cottbus and played there for some Bundesliga seasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that sounds like 90s to me.
Yeah, it was 90s and the early 2000s. So another player to watch is number 8, Mitch Weiser. And this is this is for me. It's just like this is the face of the Bundesliga in terms of I'm always there. I will never win a title, but I won't be relegated either. So this is Mitch Weiser to me. 15 starts and 15 games so far this season, and endurance runner. Can you say that? I don't know. On his right side, he got definitely his strengths against the ball and a decent positioning, and is clearly the emotional leader of the team. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 7, Marvin Duksch.
Yeah.
I think most of you might heard him. It seems to me as if he and Bremen fits perfectly together.
See,
He's
I was thinking when Füllkrug left that there's a danger that Dux will leave as well because they played in such a great duo.
yeah, they did, but it seems to me that what Dux found in Bremen is what he searched for almost his entire career.
Feel a
So
U2 song coming on. Sorry.
maybe like that, but hey, he struggled on his way in the Bundesliga, and
Okay.
I'm really
Yeah.
impressed of his endurance. He was at Dortmund 2013, but couldn't make it in the first team regularly. Okay, one season later, he was at Paderborn and didn't fit, so he then went to Kiel, who played in
Mhm.
third league in 2016,
Mhm.
where he had two prolific seasons as a striker. And after that, he failed again in his next try to be a Bundesliga player at Düsseldorf 2018. So he took another step back, one tier down, second Bundesliga to Hanover. And since then, his career evolved in the right direction. Okay,
Mhm.
so he transferred, I think, after 2 or 3 seasons in Hanover to Bremen, and then he scored 20 goals in the second Bundesliga, 12 goals last season in the first Bundesliga, and this season 7 goals already. So this is great numbers, solid performances. Okay, this is a really, really solid Bundesliga striker. Keep an eye on him. He's always capable of scoring one.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Oh, yeah, he is. Another dangerous striker is number 19, Raphael Boré.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember him from Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah, quite a familiar name. He came in from Frankfurt before the start of this season. And okay, he is not in that form. He showed us in the 2021-22 campaign with Frankfurt, where he scored in the quarterfinal versus Barcelona in the Europa League and versus West Ham in the semifinal. And I think the evening of his career, the match of his career, was the Europa League final versus Rangers, where he first scored the equalizer and then converted the last penalty, and that gave Frankfurt this historic moment by winning the Europa League. So he's
So
not.
he's some kind of Frankfurt legend as well.
Yeah,
Should be.
yeah, he is. He's a Frankfurt legend. But last season he struggled a bit. He couldn't match with Kolo Muani, and maybe this was the reason that he said, "Okay, I need another club for my development, so I can play more often." So, and he's now in Bremen. He's not in that form I mentioned, but I think he slowly gets back on track.
But didn't he just scored in this match week versus Gladbach?
Yeah.
I think he did. So
he scored the early go ahead goal.
Mm.
Yeah. And Duke scored the other one, just to mention.
Shoot.
Okay. So, and the last one I would like to mention here is number 3, Anthony Jung. Quite a familiar name.
That rings a bell. Yeah.
Yeah, that rings a bell. He spent 3 seasons with RB Leipzig from 2013 to 16 when we played in the second Bundesliga. Okay, and back that time, and this is kind of a similar story, but I had told you about Dux, that he took more than one try to get into the Bundesliga, and it seems to me that Anthony Jung is the same. So he spent these 3 seasons with us in second Bundesliga, then transferred to Ingolstadt in the Bundesliga, couldn't compete there, then transferred to Brøndby. I think Alex Zorniger, who was in charge as a gaffer there, had a huge impact on that. And he stayed there for 4 seasons and finished the last season with the Danish championship, and then transferred to Bremen in the second Bundesliga again. And since then, he is rock solid defender without any serious weaknesses. And now he has finally arrived in the Bundesliga, and I feel happy for him.
Yeah, me too.
So, as I said, I don't see any real obvious weaknesses in this whole team, but there are some keys to win, obviously, because if there wouldn't be some, they wouldn't have lost that often. And that one I figured out is that the team, as a team, got issues with constant high pressing. Yeah. Stuttgart did that in 2 matches ago, and it was quite impressive. So Bremen often tries to find their way out of their half by short passes. and stress them here to regain the ball quickly and create something out of it. That should be a good approach to create many chances. So constant high pressing and remove passing options. This is something they can handle well.
Mm-hmm.
And another key to win is shot from every angle and go for rebounds. So Cetera, who is the replacement goalkeeper for Pavlenka, who I think is injured. I'm not quite sure.
Mm-hmm.
He showed great numbers in terms of blocking shots, but he seems to have some issues in clearing the ball to the side of the net. So he often the ball bounces back into the middle of the field, and then our strikers have to be awake and have to be there and go for it, or maybe our defenders, okay, like Klostermann or Shimakan.
We don't care.
Try to convert
Anybody apart from Giannis, maybe.
anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So chances are quite good if we play fast, like we like to actually, or the team likes if we press, and if we get those rebounds. Sounds like basketball.
And I think it is more the game through the middle, just like Dortmund. So not that wing play we needed against Hoffenheim, and especially we showed it in a very good manner, especially in the first half. I think our key to win here is this quick game to the middle and then counter pressing.
But how dangerous are Dux and Boré for our defenders?
They are. You have to keep an eye on them. No question about that. But it's not like this is I say, okay, it is impossible that they score. No, it's not. So Dux is always dangerous. And I mentioned Weiser and I mentioned Bittencourt. Those players can handle the ball well. And especially Weiser is capable of shooting really, really dangerous crosses. And Dux is a prolific player with his head. And I think Bremen in general has now 10 or was it like 11 headers this season. Yeah, so we have to keep an eye on that.
So lately, Giannis showed one or two mishaps when with headers, corner kicks, also versus Hoffenheim. How confident are you that he's going to improve to a near perfect record again?
I think if he sticks to the line and relies on his abilities in terms of reflexes.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen as well in the last game. Yeah.
And then this will be he will be a great insurance on our goal line, no doubt.
That's good to hear. So who should coach, manager Marco Rose send out just a few days before Christmas Eve?
Liebe Fußballfans, wir kommen jetzt zu unserer heutigen Mannschaftsaufstellung.
Okay, this time I will predict the correct lineup. 100% sure. Okay, let's go.
Here we go.
Blaswig, our goalkeeper. Henrich, Simakan, Klostermann, Raum, our defenders. Schlager and Haidara in defensive midfield. Xavi and Baumgartner starting in offensive midfield. And Paulsen joins Openda as a striker.
Openda, yeah. So that sounds... How concerned are you about players being on 4 yellow cards? I think, who are they?
Yeah, Xavi and Openda. So now both got 4 yellow cards, and I'm not quite happy with that. Bear in mind that in January we have Frankfurt, Leverkusen, and Stuttgart. 3 games in a row where we definitely need Olmo back should one of those mentioned players be booked again and then out for 1 game.
Maybe both.
Hopefully not.
Okay, so let's keep our fingers crossed. What do you predict in terms of score?
This time, I predict a 3-0 win.
3-0. 3-0.
3.
Isn't that too high? I should have said too low. No, too high.
No, sir.
And you predict a clean sheet for Giannis.
It's time again. It's this time of the year.
Oh my, too much Christmas music at this time. Okay, you say 3-0, I'll say 3-1. Good guess. No, hopefully not. But at least, hey, 3 points. That's what we need. A win before Christmas. So we're looking forward to that. It's Tuesday. It's the early kickoff window, actually. 6:30, I think, in the afternoon. I think we're opening up that match day, which spreads over 2 days, Tuesday, Wednesday. And by then we will know who we're going to meet in the Champions League in the last 16. And we will know, well, I think we're going to stay within the top 4, but let's keep our distance to the Bumblebees. Thank you, Richard. This is excellent. Thanks for your time tonight. Thank you very much for listening to us. We'd be delighted if you could subscribe to our RB Leipzig podcast. And it would be nice if you left us a hopefully positive review on your platform. But you can also tell us about your thoughts and suggestions to improve the pod. And you can do this by finding us on Twitter. We are podcast_RBL. Or by email. Talk to us. 2 is a number. So it's talk to us at rbleglobaltracks.com. Thank you very much. I hope you guys have a relaxing week in the run up to Christmas. Not too hectic. We wish you all the best and hopefully hear you soon. And all we need to say is, Richard, is tschüss. And auf geht's, Leipziger Jungs.